Hey everyone, I am back with another video for Mermaid 2020. Today is May 25th and the prompt for today is Floral, and that was from the prompt list created by Erica the Goober. And as usual, I'll have all her links down below in the description along with all the other prompts that I'm following for the month. And actually, I believe we only have one more prompt left from the ones that I had planned on doing and from the ones that I chose. So that's super exciting, and I'm really glad that so far I've been able to follow through with it, and there's only one left. And I really feel like I have accomplished something that I've never been able to do, which is to go through with Mermaid and do this for the whole month. And I know I didn't do a piece every single day, but this is still a big improvement for me in consistency and trying to keep myself on track to create more often. For today's illustration, I kind of tried to do the same thing as I did on the last illustration, which is a new technique that I've been playing around with, and so far I really enjoy it, and that's to create some value in grayscale and put in those deeper values and light sources and figuring out all the shadows and highlights in grayscale first before adding color in, and then going back in and adding color so that it's just a little less complicated and the coloring process is a little more fun and not as technical, because the coloring process is actually just my favorite part of any illustration. Even as a kid, I just loved coloring books. I was never one of those kids who colored outside the lines. I always tried to make it look really, really nice and pretty. And a lot of times when I have this line art done and go in with the color after, it kind of just feels like I'm coloring in a coloring book, which I guess is both good and bad. But anyways, we're going to move on to the topic that I wanted to discuss today, and I kind of wanted to just talk about posting your art on social media and everything that can kind of come along with it. I know that posting your art on social media is probably the best way to get exposure and to have people just see your work and get feedback from other artists or just get opinions from people who view art, anything like that. And a lot of this can be hard because there's a lot of anxiety that comes with posting your work. I know I had a lot of anxiety with posting my work. That's why it took me a really long time to even create an Instagram account or create a YouTube channel to expose my work, because I always had that feeling in the back of my mind, or like something in the back of my head that always would say like, oh, it's not good enough, your work isn't as good as other people's work. And I was worried that nobody would like my work, or that I would get like really mean comments and people saying how much my work sucks, because I know there's so many artists out there who are far better than I am and just far more skilled than I am and have far more experience than I do. But then I realized what I have said previously is that everyone has to start from somewhere. Even the artists that we follow that are super, super successful and very well known and very popular all had to start from somewhere. Nobody just started with 1 million followers on Instagram or whatever. You have to build and grow your audience, and you have to just build and grow with your work as well. And I guarantee you, if you go find a very popular artists on social media and you go back to their very beginning posts, you will see that their work from their beginning posts and their current work has improved so much and probably looks completely different. So it's okay to start off and post your work even if you don't think it's up to the level that you want it to be at, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to help you. All of the people who view your work, people will give you feedback. People will give you good criticism. Of course, occasionally you might get a bad comment here and there, something mean or hurtful, but those are nothing compared to the positive comments you'll probably get, as I have experienced. There's far more people out there who are excited about art and who will give you positive feedback or some kind of constructive criticism rather than being negative about it. And I have just noticed people have so much love to give, so it really helps encourage you to just keep going. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that everything you post doesn't have to be a finished masterpiece. A lot of times something as simple as just a sketch of maybe a study or just a doodle that you were doing when you were bored or anything like that is something that you can post and will probably get good feedback. You don't always have to produce something completely beautiful and something that's completely finished or anything like that. You can post works of progress, you can post just practicing stuff. Of course, if you're doing like studies off of other artists or something, credit them. That's the most important thing. But any little thing like that, any little bit of progress that you post, it could be a simple sketch, a doodle, whatever, and it will help you a lot to just post anything. It doesn't have to be perfect. And that's something that I'm still working on. I'm starting to now on my Instagram and stuff post a lot of like little just sketches and stuff. And that also helps alleviate some of the anxiety of posting to social media, knowing that your work doesn't have to be perfect 100% of the time in order for you to be able to post it. Because a large part of social media is also maintaining some kind of consistency in your posting. Most accounts I've noticed post multiple times a week. I don't always post multiple times a week. It really just depends on how much I'm creating and stuff like that. But it is good to at least post once a week, if not more than once a week. And a good way to do that is by posting works of progress or sketches. Because of course, it's very difficult to post or to create full complete works of art multiple days a week if that's not like your full-time job. I also wanted to talk about the different platforms that you could post your work on. I think the biggest one right now that's getting like the most traction is probably Instagram, just because it's become such a huge platform where people share so much and there's such a big art community on Instagram. But sometimes that can be a little intimidating. So if you want something a little bit less crazy and intense, you could always try something like Deviantart. Deviantart has become a little oversaturated. I would say it's not as good as it once was years ago, but it does still have a lot of people on there who could give you feedback or who can give you ideas or inspiration, and it's really still a great platform. But that can be a little intimidating too. So can ArtStation. ArtStation has some really, really great artists, but if those are all really intimidating, I would recommend maybe something on a lower scale like Reddit. I think Reddit is a great way to start because you can find a specific niche catered to your medium or your style, and people on Reddit will give you feedback. And Reddit has a kind of allure in that you can be pretty much anonymous on there. It'll only show your username and nothing else. So if you want to see what kind of feedback you'll receive, that's a good place to start. So I just suggest that you just look for any platform that suits your needs and just start. Just post it, put it out there, see what happens. And I think you'll find that you will definitely grow from the entire experience. So this illustration is coming close to an end, so I'll just say real quick that I kind of had a vision of like almost like a sunflowery floral mermaid. I just wanted her to be really spring/summery since we're in that kind of season right now. And then I just made her super extra flowery and added a contrasting color for the background with a little bit of a gradient and some textures as usual. So here is the final illustration. I hope you guys liked it and enjoyed my little rambles, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching!